Do you know someone who has been affected or either has cancer? Chances are you do, because it's a common disease that affects millions worldwide. And it's simply a cell in the body or cells that grow and grow. And even when they're told to stop, they don't listen and they keep going. So I study cancer and how specifically it spreads throughout the body. So what if I told you that cancer by itself or alone actually isn't that dangerous? However, it's when cancer spreads and actually metastasizes that it becomes dangerous. So what's metastasis? Metastasis is simply when a cell travels throughout the body, similar to a tumor cell getting onto a highway or a car getting onto a highway and traveling across the ways to different parts of the body. So let's say you've got a tumor in your breast. This cell, similar to the image on the slide, can actually enter the blood vessel, travel through the bloodstream, and then exit at another site, continue to grow, and form what's known as a secondary tumor. So I study how, when they're in the circulation or in the blood vessel, they exit and actually form these secondary tumors. So what I found is that tumor cells, when they're grouped together, similar to the slide in the 3 or more image where there are 3 cells together, actually behave different than when they're only one cell by itself. So similar to how maybe when you're in high school or college and you've got your friends around you, you act differently than when you're with yourself. The same can be true for tumor cells. And what I found is that when tumor cells are grouped together and they exit in a unique fashion out of the blood vessel, that they're actually more likely to continue to grow and form tumors versus when it's just one tumor cell by itself. And so I was interested in understanding or asking the question, why? So what I did is I developed a technique to actually identify and isolate tumor cells that had exited the blood vessel as a group. And when I analyzed them in comparison to the single cells, I found that on the molecular level, they actually had very distinct differences from one another. And so this was really interesting because it showed that if we have clusters or groups of cells that are actually coming and moving with one another, that they're more dangerous than when they're alone or by themselves. And so what I did is I actually took all of this information and put it together, and it's now what's known as the cancer exodus hypothesis. And this is just a hypothesis that states that tumor cells that travel as a group or a cluster through the bloodstream can exit in a unique fashion and then actually have an increased propensity to form secondary tumors. So this is really important because if we can understand this process and why these cells are different from individual tumor cells, we can develop targets or therapies to help prevent or stop metastasis and prevent cancer from spreading, so that when patients are diagnosed with cancer, they're not dying from cancer, and they can live long and healthy lives. Thank you.